What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, Chantel Cameron, she has spoken about the Alycia Baumgardner situation. Now, she didn't say a whole lot from what I read, but basically, what she said was she believed that Matchroom set her up. She said that Alycia Baumgardner had one fight left in her contract. There were some complications, with what was going on and trying and, hoping to get her to resign and, things of that nature. So she believes that it was a setup. Okay, so you're not going to resign with us. You want to go and go elsewhere? Okay, we'll fix you. Now, before I continue, I don't know if this is true in terms of the setup situation. Okay, she did have one fight left on the contract. I don't know if this is the case, and this is not at all a excuse for y'all Alycia Baumgardner. I don't know if she's guilty or innocent. When you hear me say, I don't want to make everybody a part of the same ball of wax. Let's grow up, okay? This isn't keep the same energy, blah blah blah. No, this is not what this is. Okay, we have to grow up, stop all the slang bullshit, and let's think like grown people and understand that there's always a possibility that there's way more going on than what we know. Not just what is said in front of a camera, but a whole lot of things that we probably have no understanding of. Like example, can you say that the majority of people knew, or even a lot of people outside of Matchroom knew that Alycia Baumgardner only had one fight left on her contract? So that's news, right? That's something new. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Now, she may very well be dirty. She could have been set up. Who knows? Here's what I want people to think about, though. Boxing has always been known to be a dirty business. It's always been mafia affiliated. People taking dives because they was threatened that if they don't, they're going to be killed after the fight and all this type of stuff. Now, you had people that was heavily criticizing the commission when Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury had their situation. Oh, why'd they turn off the camera? Oh, they tampered with the gloves. They allowed Tyson Fury to wear gloves with no padding. Whole time JD's is there. Those gloves are signed, they are sealed, and they are not touched until fight night. And at the end of the day, all of the facts that were there, people purposely overlooked. Now, if we can say that a commission actually tampered with the gloves, if we can sit here and say that a man had no padding, in fact, that a man wrapped his hands and wrapped an egg weight inside, because there's no way for you to put an egg weight inside of a glove and stick your hand in it, and that's comfortable. It's moving around. You'd see it. We saw indentations, not a bulge. And he could have easily broken his hand. But that's why he pulled his hand out the glove, and then the egg weight should have fallen out. So all of this nonsense. But people were so vocal about expressing how dirty the commission is. So I don't put it past somebody to set a person up. I don't. We don't know that that's the case, and I'm not going to jump on that wave because of what Chantel Cameron said, but I am going to give attention to the point that, listen, you never know what happens. Hannah Gabriel said that the commission was purposely not acknowledging and making it public about the letter that she wrote, the information that she gave. Now, my thing is this. If you're clean, right? Whatever you put in your body, you should know what you put in your body. If someone set you up and tampered with your sample, that means somebody in the lab. That would mean somebody from Matchroom is, hey, listen, you need a favor. She's dirty. Okay? She's saying that it can't be right. It's not accurate. Now, let's just say in a situation where, let's say somebody used something. Let's just say even like if a person is sick. I don't know her situation, but when you get sick, okay, and you get the flu real bad, the doctors will give you a steroid. So let's just say if like you get tested today. Today is Sunday. Say she got tested today, and then they find her dirty. Let's say next Sunday she gets tested and it's she passed. Do you understand? So let's say whatever was taken, if it wasn't taken, okay, to give her a boost in the fight, to give her an advantage in the fight. This is what we don't know and what we can't say. But what she was given was something that was for male testosterone. Okay? Connor Ben took a woman's fertility drug. For what? And Connor Ben, here's the thing. If you notice, he ended up saying he ate 30 eggs. Okay. What they found in your system, Connor, that is a woman's fertility drug. Why were you taking it? You don't recall taking it? You have no recollection of taking it? So what I'm saying, these are the type of questions that people direct. Okay, what was in your system, Alycia? You don't recall taking that? Did you understand? Like this is what has to be asked publicly when these people decide to talk and do interviews. What were you taking this for? Because even if it was, I needed a boost during training, let's just say, well, if it's in your system and it's a strong enough doses to give you an advantage, because from what I'm hearing is that she had a lot of it in her system. But what I'm saying is, if a person is innocent and it looked like they're guilty, it's hard to convince people. It's extremely hard to convince people when you don't have proof, but you're innocent. Now, one thing I often do is not just this time, but any time. I always think about lies that people told on me and how without proof. Let me give you an example of something. Quick example of something. I used to work at a place in one department, but I was being trained for a different department. And in that department, we used to pull up to the back of the building, right? Administration made a big deal about people pulling up to the back, but that was because of the manager of my department and, making a big deal about them pulling up. They shouldn't be in the front. So they don't want to minimize and say, okay, nobody can park, you guys can't. It has to be nobody. Or they'll end up saying, well, only such and such management or whatever. Well, basically what happened was this. The manager of the department I was in lied on me. She was trying to get me fired, making up lies. And basically she was angry because one, she was attracted to me and I shut her down. Two, they had offered me a higher position several times and I turned it down because I simply just didn't trust them. And when it ended up where the other two were gone and she was there, she again, and we couldn't stand each other. But she know that I don't take shit. And pretty much what she wanted was someone, they like when you don't ask questions, even though you don't want to do something, it's wrong, it's not right, it's wrong, whatever it may be. She wanted her own little personal lapdog. Now, that being said, I caught her, the assistant administrator, I caught several people stealing. And then they'll have a meeting talking about X amount of items was missing and blah, blah, blah. And the security didn't check administration. They didn't check their bags. So when they would have bag check, times they would just ask people to open their bags. I told them I have nothing to hide in my bag, but unless you check administration too, unless you check, these people that work down here in these offices, these so-called bigwigs, I'm not opening my bag. If y'all want to play the suspension or fire game, I can fight it. Who are they? What makes them so special? They don't own the building. They're employed by the county just like we are. Long story short, a security guard, okay, because she denied that she didn't even know what happened. But what happened was she went to one of the security guards, right? Told the security guard to just make sure that footage is gone because she know I caught her. What I didn't know And what none of them knew, one of the security guards was on to the fact that he was watching the camera and he see administration popping up off hours, sneaking in through the back door. This was a nursing home. And it would be times where like maybe a resident would die, right? And they would lie to people. They'll put their things in storage or something. Maybe somebody came and got it and they hope that the family just go away. But let's say somebody come up there and they're consistent. Then, we found it. Yeah, it was misplaced. Oh, sorry. But if nobody came, they would just, I don't know. Maybe somebody came and got it or this, that, I'm not sure. Whatever it may be. Security was catching administration because what they were supposed to do is put it in storage. Okay, the belongings of these residents, when they die, they mark it. When the family come get it, they would have people come up, come get it, bring it down. And, well, if they would have like a TV, and then you had some people who nobody ever came to see them. So they would come and take the TV, bring it downstairs, steal the TV, come up, put it in their trunk, put it in, whatever, pull off. Well, this particular night, let's just say this was like 3:00 in the afternoon. Let's just say it was let's just say it was 2:57. Fast forwarding through, it's bleeped out, and then nobody's coming back and forth. You don't realize that the video just skipped because you don't see anybody moving back and forth. But then he's paying attention. He caught that, and he took his actual phone and recorded, the screen, and explained. The video was probably like 2.5, 3 minutes long. That this is such and such date. This is officer such and such, and I've been noticing that videos have been edited with, people stealing and doing all this. He was already doing this on his own, so he had all of these people that he was catching. He was recording them, and basically what he was doing was saying that videos are being edited, where the people that's committing these crimes are not being seen. Okay. And he had about 8 videos. She was one of them. So if it was 2:57, it's like the time goes, then it skips from 2:57 to like 3:01. Now, to the naked eye, just watching the fast forward, you don't realize that, but he caught that. And so basically what happened was the union representative that I had was sitting there talking to the person trying to cost me my job. They're friends. Yeah, what you doing this weekend? Oh, yeah, we go ahead. We going to do that. Yeah, old girl. Yeah, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, listen, no, I'm requesting a different union rep. And they're like, what? I said, look, these two are friends. They're sitting here talking about going out this weekend. Do you really think that they're going to try to get to the bottom of anything? No, it's going to end up her sitting there asking basically simple ass questions. She sit there and no. This is a waste of time. See, because I didn't just want the unjust thing of me being suspended or fired to happen. It was the fact that no, I know what I saw her doing, but I needed the right people there. See, they tried to play this whole nonsense about you can't record a person without their permission and whatever. And nah, I had her on my own phone, but I didn't realize that the security guard had other videos of his phone. So what ended up happening is when I requested a different union rep, they had to reschedule that meeting. Hey, whatever. I told them, they're like, well, I said, listen, I don't care what y'all don't want to do. I have the right. I'm in the union. I pay union dues. I do not want her to represent me. So the union rep that came down was she was like a damn attorney. She was on top of everything. And what I told her, because basically she went to security and was asking to see footage of that day, because I had the date, the time, and everything. But the same thing he was doing, I was doing only with her. And I had caught so many of them, seen them doing it. So, hearsay is not going to work in a case. So my point, the truth came up, she got caught. She didn't get fired, she got suspended. Okay? At least they claim they suspended her. She wasn't there for like 3 days. They probably told her to take a vacation or something. Now, here's what happened. The administrator fired her for a lot less. And that was simply because she told her she wanted somebody that she wanted her to hire. And basically, she just determined that, I think it was a niece of somebody, she wasn't qualified. It was too much, and for what she wanted, she wasn't qualified for the position. Well, basically now all of a sudden the administrator want to take all the strikes against her, add it up, and decide she's basically not a good fit there when she's not doing her job, and all she fired her. Okay? My point is, administration stealing. The powers that be, the higher ups in the building, they're the ones stealing, lying, doing all this nonsense, okay? Stealing from residents. So do you see the point? What I'm saying to you is the same people sitting in front of you trying to lay down the law, they're watching you, but who's watching them? So when it comes to this situation with these VADA tests and all of this, they need to be more on the ball. They need to be more strict. Pop up whenever, randomly, just like no call, no nothing. This has to be, you have to sign this, right? Every fighter should have to go through VADA testing or whatever. They need that. This needs to happen. You can't pick and choose. And it shouldn't happen only in a big fight. No, you guys get paid. This is what you signed up for. Be more on top of things, because there's no telling how many fighters have fought and basically, had an edge, and that's why they won. So it's just getting to the point where now we're just pointing the fingers and just keeping score of how many people are failing tests. But it's like, what do you do to get to the bottom of it? And they're just as guilty, because like I said in the previous video, how can you test a fighter? They fail their test, until after the fight, weeks after the fight happens. Then all of a sudden we hear, and this is a pattern of them, because weeks later, that's when you hear all parties that were involved that knew that this fighter failed their test. So the same way people are saying, oh, but she's dirty, right? This fighter's dirty. They failed the test. Okay, do you really think that a fighter's going to come out and say, for the record, y'all, I failed my test? You understand? But I'm clean. This is going to cause problems. This is going to have people going, wait, what? If they so my point is, the same way that they're not saying anything, neither is the commission. So when the commission comes out and say this is what happened, the person failed their test weeks after, they're not in the clear. It's like, think back to when Panama Lewis was in Aaron Pryor's corner. Give me that bottle. No, not that one. The one I mixed. Aaron Pryor was just as guilty as Panama Lewis. Okay, just as guilty. How many times have somebody offered you something and you said, what's that? Right? They said, try this, and what's that? You didn't just take it. Oh, no, right? What was that? Okay, Aaron Pryor was sitting right there. Did you hear him say, what are you giving me? No, he just took whatever it was given to him. He's not a child, he's a grown man. So he's just as guilty for taking it. Okay? But at the end of the day, we have a situation where Deontay Wilder claimed that his water was poisoned, but his samples came back clean. Yet, people are still saying Mark Breland poisoned his water. You see, so it's just this childish immaturity where people, you got to keep the same. No. What you got to do is grow the fuck up and understand. I'm not saying Alycia Baumgardner is clean. I would really like the truth to be that any fighter is clean. That it's a mistake. Okay, so I'm not at all saying she's clean, but I'm not saying she's dirty. I'm not saying the commission is. Put it to you like this. I don't know what it is. And until she can prove anything, she's seen as dirty. She very may well have taken it. Like I said, when people are trying to, get more money, they're trying to become champion, they're trying to, do bigger and better things. You don't know what a person would do. So I'm not at all saying, oh, I don't think she did it. I don't know what she would or wouldn't do. I don't know her personally. But I'm saying you have to start holding everybody accountable, man. Okay, if you and a buddy of yours decide y'all going to go out and your buddy decide, I'm going to break into that car and, hey, look, they just put a bunch of expensive stuff in that car. I'm going to break in and take it. I don't care if it's his car, you didn't get out the car, you didn't help him, you sat there. You are an accomplice, which means basically you're just as guilty as him. Why? Because they're going to tell you, you should have reported this. This is a criminal. This is a crime, right? Well, either you worried about being called a snitch, either, hey, no, that's my partner, I'm not going, whatever it may be. Bottom line is, you're an accomplice. And this is the type of thing where they'll tell you, either talk or you're going to jail too. Now, if it's something that you did, depending on what you did, they'll tell you, well, okay, we can lighten your sentence, but if you cooperate. But bottom line is, they're not going to say, oh, you saw what happened? Nah, you know what? But that's not his fault. Nope. No. You're an accomplice. You witnessed it. You saw what happened. And especially if it ends up with somebody getting hurt or killed or something. So either way, bottom line, you witnessed this crime. You know what happened and you did nothing about it. You are an accomplice. So these people cannot be aware that the test was failed, but we're going to let the fight go on. This is what I'll say, and I'm not saying this in the sense of them hiding the truth where someone's cheating. But if you're going to allow a fight to happen, then what's the purpose of even coming out saying that a person was dirty? Maybe you should wait until after everything clears and then you can say, okay, the story can come out that a person was tested because their sample came back, but through further test, I'm negative, came back dirty, but through further testing, that the truth that it was basically determined that no, that person wasn't dirty or they weren't cheating or whatever it may be. Because at least at that point, it's a done deal. But when you come out and say things like this and then all of a sudden there's no proof, but the fighter is saying that they're innocent, they don't know what was going on. So it makes you think, well, damn, look at Dylan, Connor Bent, Hannah Gabriels, Oscar Valdez, all these just different people that's just, these situations where in the biggest fights, this is when it pretty much happens. So my thing is, if random testing was done more often, and it should just be mandatory. Stop with all of this, they only test certain fights. No, make it mandatory. Make these people have to work. Make these people do their goddamn jobs. And like I said in the last video, for people to acknowledge that you can be clean and kill someone. You can beat someone to death. The fact that you are aware of that, but you are also aware that a fighter is dirty, but you allow them to go into the fight, into the ring and fight and possibly kill someone. Now, doesn't that make you think there's been several fighters that have died in the ring? Was it because the other fighter was dirty? That they had an advantage? Or was it just, no, they were clean and unfortunately they just killed the person, beat him to death? But how do we know it wasn't because they were dirty? Do you understand what I'm saying? Then it's also, you got to understand, everything that we hear, everything that we know and what we think we know, you know that saying, people tell you what they want you to know. We have no idea what type of things are going on behind the scenes. And I'm pretty sure there's many people that got their hand raised and the crowd is going crazy and that person wasn't tested and nobody has a clue that person was dirty. So, I mean, just the same way they have people sitting there from each other's camp watching their hands get wrapped in, like everything. There's no reason that these things should occur. Imagine if the president have their own secret servicemen or have their own protection. Imagine if these guys were as careless, as these commissions, these people doing the testing. Imagine Ronald Reagan getting shot at 5. No, not once, and that happened from a distance. But imagine every other week the president's getting shot. Every other week somebody's able to sneak up and punch the president in the face and run. It's like, this is your security. This is your own security, and this is what's happening. It's like, man, they got to tighten up. So my point, what I'm saying, guys, is not just the fighter. No, you are the main person because you're the fighter. You do not have to take anything illegal, and you shouldn't be. But no, you cannot have people aware. I mean, we could use some of these scenarios, man. Come on. Your best friend know that your woman is cheating on you, but don't tell you anything. Watch you suffer, go through things, watching you doing what you're doing, standing as a man by this person, vice versa, whatever. But y'all know what I'm saying. How would you feel? You knew all of this time and you didn't say anything? Like, of course, it's not their fault that the person is doing it, but like, what kind of friend stands back and allow that to happen? No, due diligence. You have to make people understand. you're going to win. You're going to win fair and square. You're going to be clean. But my suggestion would be, like I said, that these people doing these testing, they need to tighten up. They need to just to be more strict. They need to pop up. They need to make sure that they are on top of things. Because plain and simple, okay, and I'm going to say this, and this is for Alycia Baumgardner and every fighter, okay, unless your samples were tampered with and you were set up, and that's for any fighter that's ever been, that has, let's say, because we can't sit here and say that it's like it's impossible. Let's say for any fighter that was actually set up, that you're clean, you're innocent, right? It's unfortunate. And it's the type of thing where justice need to be served, and whoever sets you up need to be in prison. Fuck fire. And no, they need to be in prison. Look at what they cost you. But for those who willingly take things during the training camp, and you have someone tell you, nah, take it now, it'll be out of your system by the time they do the testing. And then come fight night, you can fight. And then it'll be out of your, it's like, before they can do this and this, like whatever. If you're willingly taking something for an advantage, then you have no argument. Just come clean and tell the truth. And we know that that's not something that people are willing to do. But bottom line, man, is boxing is corrupt as a whole. So when you see me put, posts that say boxing is in need of a serious change, I mean as a whole. As a whole, every aspect of boxing that's corrupted, everything that's on the downside, boxing needs a major change. And I do not see the point. I do not see the point of knowing a fighter tested dirty just to let them go in the ring and fight. Okay? A person in their right mind wouldn't play Russian roulette. Okay? And as a mature individual, you wouldn't play with the gun, period, right? But let's just say a gun is empty. Not because you think it's empty. There's nothing in the chamber, nothing in the right, nothing in the clip. It's empty. There's no clip in it. The gun is empty. Okay? You wouldn't worry about pulling the trigger if the gun is facing you because not you think, Okay? Let's say you just took the gun apart, cleaned it, put it back together. There's nothing in it. So you wouldn't worry about it. But I bet you if you just saw the gun laying there, right, you wouldn't feel comfortable just picking the gun up, because what if it is loaded, right? What if it is one in the chamber? Just saying. So it's common sense. You check things. I mean, you'd be stupid to sit there. There's better ways to waste time, make a fool out of yourself. But y'all get the picture of what I'm saying. You cannot be a fighter, get the rules and regulations, because they give you a list of what's acceptable and what's not. They give you a list of this shit. So you know what you can and what you can't take. So it behooves me, man, that people wind up in a situation where all of a sudden they're dirty. So this is what I'm saying. We need to pay more attention. And I'm trying to bring awareness to the fact that they need to start checking these commissions. They need to start investigating them to see what's going on. Because let's say if they are setting people up. Imagine just how we get these documentaries and we find out things that we never knew before. What if we get a documentary that it comes out that there were people that actually were set up and, hey, man, this person, this and that, I need a favor from you. And they were paid off. We had NBA, officials come clean in the early 2000s and admit that they were actually paid off to show favoritism and call fouls on people. How many times we watched the game and said, you call a foul because this man's fingernail touched his forearm and the ball was long gone from his hand? But this dude just ran the traffic and got pounced and y'all didn't call a foul on that? Yeah, they came clean about it. How many different sports have somebody came clean and told that they was paid off? They were instructed to cheat. So we can't sit here and act like the commission won't do that. We can't sit here and act like these people are innocent, but the fighters aren't. This is what, maybe, just maybe there's a lot of fighters that was falsely accused. Maybe. But we know there's fighters that were dirty. The truth came out, and even for people to admit certain things after they know they have nowhere else to go. The thing about it is this. It's hard to bounce back, especially if you get a ban. They ban you 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Now, what is she, 30, 29 or 30? So if she did get banned, just say, and she come back 34, 35, that's a lot of years gone. Look at Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller has came back, and he's had like 4 fights. And, I mean, nobody's talking about it. I think the last fight he had was with Lucas Brown or something, and who cares? Nobody cares. And you see the video, he was sitting there, Big Baby's back. And, calling AJ a pussy, and he'll fight Dylan and this one and that one. And yeah, he's trying to get his name in the mix because nobody cares. He's a forgotten fighter. Nobody cares that he's back. He's back to do what? That's a lot of time that's gone out of your life and your career, man, that you weren't able to do the thing that put food on your table. So it's not easy to bounce back from those things, man. It's like the younger you are, you got a better chance of coming back and getting back in the mix. But, I mean, then you got people that don't want to work with you because they view you as a cheat. So even after the ban, it's like, nah, I don't respect you. They gave you a 4-year ban. If it was me, I gave you a life ban, especially when you fail multiple tests. So in this situation with Alycia Baumgardner, Hannah Gabriel, Dylan White, Conor Ben, whoever, all I'm going to say is this. You're all human beings, and I don't hate you. I don't know if you're innocent or not. Truthfully, based on your own stories, some stories are easier to make a to determine if you believe somebody's lying or not. But this shit has to stop. And what I'm going to say is, to end this video, the fighters need to be smart of what you're putting in your body, okay? I don't know if maybe they could even have someone, when they're doing this testing, to have someone but see, that's the problem is people can get paid off. So the person that's watching the person that's watching the person, they all could be in the back. I mean, just say, there's big money floating around there. So that's the whole point. Like when somebody's on Facebook Live, they get pulled over by the police. They let the camera run versus recording a video and posting it. No, this is happening in real time. So whatever's going down, if those cops do something dirty, doesn't matter if they try to turn the phone off. Everybody saw it. They know what you did. They saw what you did. So it's no my word against your word. People seen it. They need to figure out a way, okay, to where this corrupt shit can't happen. And I feel like on that side of things, people don't care enough to make that adjustment, to say, no, we're going to make sure that this sport is cleaned up. And it has to be cleaned up on all ends, not just one or two, all ends. And really, until they do that, and it would be good for VADA and any other commission, all these others that do testing, that they actually step their game up to make sure they do more random testing. Otherwise, as long as people can find ways to beat the system, they will. And it's sad because Alycia Baumgardner is in line to do great things. She's, avenged her only loss. She looked good in the fight, and she's on her way up to, accomplishing what she wants to do. I don't glorify what somebody's doing. It just, to see what she's doing, and she's a good fighter. But it's like, if put it to you like this, and this is how I'm going to end this. And this is for any fighter, but because she's the reason I made this video, and, VADA testing, if Alycia Baumgardner is innocent, I hope the truth comes out and that she suffers no punishment for being framed, okay? Or someone making a mistake, okay? A contamination in the lab, whatever it may have been. If she's not innocent, then she deserves to be punished in a suitable way. It's as simple as that. We just don't know what's what. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.